Hi guys, today we're going to learn about partitioning shapes. Our I can statement for today is I can partition shapes into parts with equal areas. I can express the area of each part as a unit fraction of the whole. Let's take a look at our first shape, which is a rectangle. Rectangle is my favorite shape to partition because you can partition it so many different ways. And remember, partition means it has to be cut into equal pieces. So I can cut the rectangle right in half. And now I've partitioned it to have two spots. And remember, that would make our denominator 2. The unit fraction is one part. So if I shade this part of the rectangle, the shaded area would be 1 over 2. So my unit fraction is 1 over 2. Let's try another shape to see if we understand. A square. This is another shape that's easy to partition. This time we're going to partition it into 4 equal parts. I can cut it right down the middle and right in half. And again, we're looking for the unit fraction, so we are going to shade only one part. I'm going to pick this part right here, shade it in a little bit. This one part is one part of the area of the square. So we're going to put a number 1, and then there are 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. So we have 1 out of 4, which is our unit fraction. The next shape, I put this in there to kind of throw you off. This is a parallelogram. Parallelograms are really hard to partition. So unless you have a physical parallelogram, you will see that it's very hard to cut in half. But if you cut it in half on the angle, you could match it up. So imagine that you have a piece of paper the shape of a parallelogram, and you would just cut it this way. You could partition this, and you would have 1/2 of a parallelogram, so 1 over 2. I want to show you something else though. This is not partitioned because they are not equal parts. So a parallelogram is really tricky to partition. The next one is a circle. Circles aren't my favorite thing to partition, but we're going to try it. The easiest way to partition a circle is by splitting it right in half, or we could split it into quarters by cutting it this way. Let's try it with 1/2 first. I'm going to shade 1/2. So think about what the unit fraction would be. The unit fraction is 1 over 2 because there are 2 parts. I want to try it this way though. Let me erase this. We're going to try and partition it into 6ths. I'm going to make kind of like an X. And I'm going to try and make 6 equal parts. Oh, that's not too bad. Not too bad. And I'm going to shade one of them to find the unit fraction. Now the unit fraction is 1 out of 6, which we write 1 over 6. So my numerator is 1 and the denominator is 6. We have a couple more things to do here. Let's check this out. Ooh, a pentagon. Here's another tricky one because we cannot partition it this way, can we? No, because it's not equal areas. So the only way, oh no, I lied. There's not only one way. There's 2. We can partition it in half, and this would give us a unit fraction of 1/2. But there's another way for you people who are trying to figure out other ways to partition these crazy shapes. And let's see if I can do it. I don't think I can. There's a way to make it triangles. There is a way, but that's not the way. But maybe you can try it on your own. And the last we have an octagon. An octagon, we're just going to cut this guy right in half, but there's many ways we can partition an octagon. I'm going to shade 1/2. Again, that's the unit fraction of 1 out of 2. So 1 is my numerator, and to have a unit fraction, you must always have 1 as the numerator to show one part of the shape. All right, I want to dig a little bit deeper before we end this segment. And I want us to look at these two shapes right here. I've partitioned two rectangles, and notice they are the exact same size. They're both partitioned into 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts, so I know my denominator is 4. And here again, 1, 2, 3, 4. But they were partitioned different ways. This one was partitioned with vertical lines, and this one was a horizontal and a vertical line. Do you know that the area is still the same because it is 1/4? So they are both 1/4, and the rectangles are exactly the same, so the area is the same. But if we look at something like this, it is still 1/4, and this is still 1/4. But the areas are not the same. This right here is a lot bigger than this right here. So when we're comparing fractions, we need to make sure that the shapes are the same size. All right, I hope you learned something new today.